What's going on, y'all? We back with another episode of Define Your Legacy, episode number 7. And we got Nzinga here. How we doing? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it's great to see you as well.
Yeah. So, real quick, for those that may not know, we kind of met through UConn. As I always say, the greatest school in the world. Even though you were kind of rooting for
Oh
Syracuse at times.
boy.
Yeah, no, yeah. I want to address that first before we got into the serious business. But yeah, with that being said, welcome to the show, Nzinga. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. So for those that may not know, just kind of introduce yourself and let everyone know what it is that you do.
Okay, well, my name is Nzinga. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I am a full-time teacher and also a full-time entrepreneur. I own my own business. I'm a New York State licensed esthetician, so I provide facial services, waxing services, and vajacial services here in Brooklyn. Um, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So the first thing that I want to tap into was if you could tell us the specifics behind Zing's Beauty Bar and what it is that exactly you do there.
So Zing's Beauty Bar is, like I said, it's a spa service. It's up. I haven't really gotten it to where I want it to be, but it's getting there. Essentially, like I said, provide facial services. I help people with their skincare routine, help them start a skincare routine. I also provide waxing and hair removal services and vajacial services. So I can treat any part of your body, your face, whatever the case may be. Um, and usually people should come to like an esthetician first before they go to a dermatologist just to get like a gloss over like what's going on with your skin. But pretty much that's all we do at Zing. Well, that's all I do at Zing's Beauty Bar. Yeah.
And I was gonna ask, is it just you? Because I mean, you mentioned being having a full-time job as well as this, so it's just you, right?
Yes, it's just me for now, but I do hope to expand in the near future.
So if you could tell us what that means to you in terms of being able to do both, right? Like just being able to say that, like, yes, I'm able to do both of these and do it well on top of that.
Um, It means a lot. It's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. To be honest, if it were up to me, I would like to pick one and just stick with it. But I also feel like it's really hard for me right now to just stick with one. I'm not quite ready to take that leap as yet. So for right now, I'm just sticking it out. Um, and working with my students like it's something that I really do appreciate, and they are the reason why I show up every single day for work. So I feel like I can't bail out on them as yet. And I also, like I said, just like to work with clients and treat their skin. I love to just talk with my clients and get to meet them and know where they're coming from, and just having that little chit chat with them really just like brightens my day. I really have a lot of joy when I'm working as an esthetician. So right now it's like a good balance for me. It is like a lot. I'm very tired often, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. So
Yeah,
I'm just very blessed to be able to
yeah.
do it.
And I bet it sounds like it's worth it. It sounds like you're a people person in terms of you're the relationship you have, with the kids that you teach as well as the clients that you tend to serve. But what would you say is like the toughest part about having to balance both?
Um, the toughest part is honestly, like sometimes the whole reason why I started my business, right, was because I wanted to actually allow people the opportunity to take care of themselves, like give themselves some self-care. And so I felt like this is what I needed to do. I needed to like open this business. I needed to inform people on how they can treat their skin. I needed to help people just like calm down, relax, and take care of themselves. But at the same time, now that I'm doing that as well as teaching, I'm not doing that for myself. And so it's really tough sometimes because I pretty much work from 8 o'clock in the morning to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon teaching, and
Mm,
then I'm taking clients immediately after until like 8 o'clock at
mm.
night. So I don't really go to sleep until fairly late, and then I get up and do it all over again. Um, but I also feel like it's because I'm such a hustler that I'm like, nah, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. Um,
You know,
but yeah, it's like less time for myself, and it's sad, but I'm also like, hey, I gotta get to it. So
you know what that sounds like though. In the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned you were from Brooklyn, so you think, you know what I'm saying, you got that New York in you. You know what I'm saying, that's like a, you know, you got to go out and get it. But that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying, and you know, so I would say, what was the moment that sparked, you know, the business launch, if you will? Was there something that was like, all right, today's the day where I really have to get this thing started?
yes. So I was actually at work with teaching with my coworkers, and one of my coworkers said to me, like, if you could launch a business, any business, you had all the capital that you needed, what would you do? And I was like, I sat for like a little bit, and I was like, I want to launch like a spa. Like, I want to do like a beauty bar. I want people to be able to come in and relax, get service, because that's what I enjoy. Like, I really enjoy getting my nails done. I really enjoy getting my hair done, getting beautified. And, I also what I used to do is actually spend my Sundays just taking care of myself, washing my hair and giving myself a facial and doing all of these things to make myself feel better. So I kind of started doing some research, like, what would I do to kind of get into like this, or how can make people feel this way.
Mm,
And that's when I learned about skincare, and being an esthetician. And I felt like that would hit home a lot more for me because at the time I was actually suffering from acne. And I've been suffering from acne since I was in like 8th grade, 7th grade. And so for me to actually get rid of my acne, I had to take a very dangerous medicine.
mm,
And it was like the last resort that my dermatologist actually had. And so I felt like I don't want people to have to go through all of that, like risk
right.
all of that, even though it's only like 6 months on the medicine, which isn't that bad, it's still
Mhm,
like, I don't want people to have to deal with that. So
right.
at that moment, I was just like, I'm gonna just go take a tour at a beauty school. And then the beauty school, they just kept calling my phone. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go and put my deposit down. And
Mm.
it was
So
up.
what was it something like you had to apply for and like actually get accepted? How was that?
No, you don't have to apply for it. Like literally, I think I went online and I signed up for a tour, and then I came in for the tour and they were ready to sign me up right then and there. And I was like, hold on, I need to think about this for a
Mm,
little bit. And I literally told the girl, like, I'll call her back, but she literally was calling my phone. And I felt like that was a sign from God, like,
yeah.
all right, it's time, Nzinga, it's time.
So all right, so why was it that you kept hesitating? Like was there something that was holding you back, or was it just like, you know, you just kept
It
second
was
guessing?
the only thing that was holding me back was more so like the financial part of it,
Mm,
because at the end of the day, it is school,
mm,
and you gotta pay for school. And
yeah,
I had
yeah.
I got loans from undergrad, and I was like, I already know how I'm about to pay for this beauty school stuff or
Mm,
whatever. But I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I'll take that risk. It wasn't, and I tried as much as I can to like budget out my money so that
mm,
way I wouldn't be like having to take out a major loan or something like that.
mm. Well, that's good. I mean, because it sounds like you chose yourself, you know, which is always a good thing. You know, people always talking about investing in, you know, stocks and real estate and everything like that. But I think something that's even more important than all that is investing in yourself. And you also touched on too about how you had when you were younger, kind of how that inspired you to now. But so that's how you got licensed, right? But even
Hmm.
after you got licensed, was there an even more inspiration to actually start your own business? Because I mean, obviously, you know, that's why, you know, you go to, you know, school like that is to eventually start your own business. But even still, was there something else? I was like, all right, now that I have my license, let's take another step.
I feel like there was a few things. So I actually back in college at UConn on Snapchat. This was when Snapchat was
Mm,
popping. I feel like once a week, I used to do this little feature on Snapchat called Zing's Beauty Bar. And I used to just talk about little makeup tricks. And so I didn't know what I was talking about on there, but people was watching it. And so I was like, okay. And so back in 2018, I actually created like an Instagram called Zing's Beauty Bar. And I was just dedicating it towards like giving people hair care tips and skincare tips and just tips on like beauty and fashion and stuff like that. So Zing's Beauty Bar has always been like thriving. It's been around for quite some time, the idea. But then I also felt like I don't like working for other people. I really like to work for myself. I don't like answering to other people. And so I was like, yeah, like I need to launch this business. I need to get it going because this is not working out for me.
You know what? I'm gonna say it again. You know what that really sounds like, right? You're from Brooklyn. You're from New York. So
Oh my God.
so I know. And the only reason why I ask is because, like, as I'm sure you know, that's not like a common dream or inspiration, or at least that I know of. And so that's why I was kind of curious to hear like the motivation behind it. So what would you say, I guess, to those that might be on their way or thinking about getting licensed in this business?
Well, our first thing I have to say is get licensed. Like, I feel like within the beauty industry now, it's so many shortcuts to just get money, right? Everything right now is about like, oh, let's get this money quickly. So people are like, oh, here, I'll teach you how to do lashes. Just give me $1,000 and I'll give you the whole kit or whatever. Or I'll teach you how to wax and this and this and that. But what they need to understand is that with everything comes a liability, right? And so at least when you're licensed, you're covered. Like you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. But when you're not, you're just out here like going all willy-nilly crazy. And if something happens to a client, they could take you to court and it's nothing that could protect you. So first things first, like definitely get licensed. It's not a cheap route. It's not like a quick route, but it's worth it in the end. You get connected to people, you meet new people, you learn new things, and your learning doesn't just stop right there. Your learning continues and it goes on and on. So don't give up and just do it. Take that leap. That's what I tell her.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that last part could definitely apply to anything. You know, don't give up and definitely take that leap, but also at the same time put the time in to really learn something and get licensed. Don't just half-ass anything. So I'm 100% with you on that. But correct me if I'm wrong. You also offer consultation as well, right? In this area as well.
Yes, I do. I offer consultations and I actually have like a lot of, well, I offer skincare consultations, but I also have a lot of young girls reaching out to me asking me like, hey, I want to do what you do or whatever. And like, I'm willing to be a mentor to anybody. Like, I personally didn't have a mentor for a lot of things in my life. And so I would love to be able to help guide someone on their journey and be there for them.
Yeah. And I'm glad you touched on that about mentorship, because to me that's what Defiant Legacy is all about in terms of being there for the next generation. But I guess what part when it comes to learning the ins and out of this business do you wish someone would have taught you about, and not even just about what it is that you do specifically, but in terms of I guess marketing, your website or all of that, or is all the above?
It's not all of the above. It's literally all of the above. Yeah, as I go through each day, I'm learning different things and marketing. I really wish I knew like what's the key in marketing, what do you have to do? But like I said, every day I learn a little bit more about that. In terms of like I feel like in terms of like scheduling and stuff and my website, like I'm pretty okay with that. But also like the tax side of things, like the taxes and all of that is just a lot. Like that's really what I need, like a mentor for. Like help me because what do I gotta pay and how do I do this? And it's a lot.
No, the IRS, they don't play any games in terms of
They don't find
tax
me.
situations and all that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in terms of all that, situations and things like that. But I would ask too, so this was your first business, right?
Yes.
So what would you say the benefits are of starting your first business at such a young age?
Um, oh wow, this is a little hard. Oh, it's not hard, but
It makes you
I
think. I get
feel
it. I
like
get it.
yeah, it's making me think for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, I think that you get the opportunity to just gain experience. And at a young age, like you got time to mess up a little bit and fix it and make it work, you know? I'm just gaining a lot of experience as I go. I haven't, have I been in business for, yeah, I've been in business for about a year now. So yeah, I'm just learning a lot of different things as I go. And you just, it's just a
It's a lot. No, yeah, I bet. So you're in you're in a service when it comes to like having clients and things like that. So what, because obviously not everything is always good when it comes to business. So um, what's your reaction to when things might not be going your way with a client, right? Like whether they're late, whether they're, rude. How do you, what I'm saying, adjust to that?
Well, I have been very blessed. I always hear about like service workers who get very rude clients or they experience like these crazy things, and I've been blessed that I actually have not experienced anything crazy, um or really like had anybody who's been rude or disrespectful.
Mm,
When it comes to lateness, I'm super lenient with my clients. I'm very lenient because at the end of the day, I am a people person. I understand that life happens. Life is always happening to me. So when they're late, as long as you text me, we good. You let me know. Um, if you can't make it, that's fine. You let me know. I always try to just like be very understanding with my clients.
mm,
In the case that it's like a person who's rude or anything, I'm still going to service you
mm,
potentially. But I also have learned and realized that not every client is like should be your client and you can
mm.
fire clients. So it's kind of like,
Oh,
thank you for coming to me, but unfortunately, I don't need that energy in my space. So you could go have a good day, you know? Um,
there's a lot of power in that statement. I wasn't even thinking. I mean, you know how some people just like, all right, whatever, they got money, let's go.
mhm,
If, whatever, I'll deal with, them being rude. But,
mhm,
when you reach a level, it's like, it'd be cool to have you as a client, but if you're not going, match energy, slide.
mhm.
That's some
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like the biggest thing when I started my business was that I said to myself, I'm not doing this for the money. This is something that I really just enjoy doing. And so if your attitude isn't good, and that means your money is not good. And I don't want no bad money. I don't need all of that in my
Mm,
life. Like I'm good. I'm in a great space and I just want good energy around me. Not all money is good money. So you could take your money wherever you want to go with
mm.
that.
I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt for next episode. Not all money is good money. Oof. Not all money is good money. That's a fact. Um, but so obviously, over the past what 15, 18 months or so that our country has obviously, been dealing with the world has been dealing with the global pandemic. How as a business owner, have you been, adjusting with that in terms of, just everything?
So it's actually been very like interesting for me because technically I was I graduated from beauty school in August. I had launched my business to actually start servicing clients in June. And that's something that they always encourage you to do while you're in beauty school is like, go ahead and take clients, take clients. So I had actually started to take clients in June, but I had people come into my house because I didn't really have a lot of people anyway at that time. I was like maybe servicing like maybe two people, three people.
And that's
But
how it all starts. You got to start. You know what I'm saying? You got.
right, right. And so um I was actually just working with people in my house, and then eventually I had to move out of my house because I was just like, I don't want everybody walking up in here knowing where I live and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's not okay. So I actually went and rented out a studio. And by the time I actually got into the studio, like it was just people were flowing in, and it was a beautiful blessing. Um and it also happened that by that time the state had actually like gave the okay for us to start servicing individuals again,
Mm,
like in all services. So
mm.
it was good from, well, even though the pandemic wasn't like the
Right.
greatest thing,
I got
launching during the pandemic wasn't like as bad for me. It actually
you. Yeah.
turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah. And that's how, unfortunately, as you mentioned, but like a lot of people have, this pandemic definitely woke, a lot of individuals up in terms of, realizing like, all right, I got to have something for me. But two questions I have based off that story is, so your decision to go with the studio, right? Obviously, you don't have to say how much it costs to rent out or whatever, or have it. But was there ever a point when you got that studio and was like, man, do I want to spend this money on this, or do I want to spend it on myself doing something else? Because now running a business, it ain't always just revenue, right? At some point, you have to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So was there ever a kind of back and forth with yourself on that part?
No, it was not
I heard you.
because
I heard you.
actually, like, at the time, my family is mainly in Florida right now. Like my parents, they all retired. Everybody's retired and they in Florida living their lives. But occasionally they come back and forth, and they'll stay here with me. And so at the time when they had just came back, and I was like servicing clients, but I was like, this is literally like a hot mess. Like I can't have people coming in and out. They seeing my mom, they seeing my grandma, like it's too much.
Mm,
So I felt like it was like a fire underneath me. I was like, I need to find a space. I need to find a space. And it just so happened that like I actually went to go get my lashes done one day, and I asked the girl who was doing my lashes, like, is there rooms available? Are there other places available? And I hopped on it so quickly. I was a little skeptical at first because the whole place was kind of like, it was just very creepy, but I was just like, no, I need to do this. And so I did it.
tough decisions got to be made sometimes.
Right.
Tough decisions got to be made. But so in terms of you talking about your clients, how did you go about like finding them? Like, was it just like marketing on social? Like, did they come to you, or how does that work?
A lot of it is just marketing on social media. But I have to say, like, a lot of my clients are people that I've just come across in life and I've met, whether it's been like elementary school. I've literally had clients from elementary school, clients that I went to middle school with, clients I went to UConn with.
Shout out, shout out.
My friends support me. My friends tell other people to support me. I have a client who I went to high school with, and he's literally invited his whole family, referred his whole family to come to me to get wax or to get a facial. And it's just been like spreading like
Mm,
wildfire. So
that's what's
a
up.
lot of it is just like social media, a lot of it is just people want to support me. And then it's also like a little bit of word of mouth as well. And I'm just blessed for it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, congratulations, I would say. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's definitely important. So for the consultation and everything that you provide, is some of this for men as well?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
I do everything for men except for wax men. I'm not doing that.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
But in terms of like facials and skincare, yes, men can get it. I only have two consistent male clients, but I've definitely serviced a little bit more than that in terms of male clients. But I wish more men came and got facials and took care of their skin. I be hearing like men be putting some, I don't know, some crazy stuff on their skin, and I'm scared. I'm very scared for the males. Like,
Right, right. No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, it's called Zing's Beauty Bar, so I wanted to make sure that men knew, what I'm saying, when they
mm-hmm,
when they follow you and stuff like that, that it's also, you know what I'm saying, for men, don't
Yeah.
run just because it's called beauty bar, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, I wanted to acknowledge that. And so is any of it like virtual? Like so when you set up something, is there anything like can someone set up like a Zoom call with you, or is it like just over the phone, or what's up with that? Like if someone was out of the state, right, and they
Mhm.
wanted to, tap in, what would you tell them?
Absolutely. Like in terms of, I don't really treat skin virtually, but in terms of like a consultation, I can definitely do a consultation over Zoom, over the phone. I'm very, very flexible when it comes to that. Whatever you want to do, that is fine. And I always write my clients personally when they book an appointment with me. So they have my contact information from the moment that they book and they know exactly how to reach me. So,
Yeah, I mean that's real. I think it's important to have that relationship between yourself and your client. It's just always a reminder that it's not just a business thing. If they're coming to you, that they definitely need you, and especially if they're coming back more than once. You
yeah.
know, because as a male, the relationship that a guy has with his barber is kind of like you know not going to nobody more than once, or someone else. So I can only imagine what it's like on that side.
Mhm.
But so what does it mean to you as well to have it your business be in Brooklyn? Because people go to school out of state. And I only say that because obviously you're from there. But I mean,
Mhm.
when people go out of school or move to go out of school, they end up moving to the state sometimes and starting that business where they relocated. But you have yours, obviously where you're from. So how important is it to you to have that where you're from?
It's super important to me because, like you said, this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it means a lot to me too because it's very hard to like even live in New York these days. So the fact that I'm even able to service clients in a space um here just means like, wow, I'm able to do a little bit of something, and I feel like I'm able to educate the people around me who I grew up with. I'm
Mm.
able to educate their families. I'm able to reach out to them and just, be that person to them. And a lot of people want to support Black people. So I feel like I'm giving people the opportunity, like, hey, you could support me. But
Yeah.
also like they want their service workers to be, or the people who are servicing them to be just like them. So I feel like I'm able to do that for my community. I'm able to be that person, like, hey, you can come to me. I'm your Black service worker, your Black esthetician who
Facts.
knows you, who looks like you, and I could get you together.
Facts. And I think that's so important, is to like buy from people that you can relate to, buying from
Hmm.
people that you can have a regular everyday conversation with, and supporting people. Honestly, I think it's important to support people that I think like so often we as consumers tend to support, like big name brands or big name artists and everything like that. But like I think the people to your left and your right are kind of, you know, the ones that you should probably prioritize. Um, but in terms of like support and loyalty, did you receive a lot of like support early on from like your family and friends and stuff to just really kind of egg you on and just get started?
Um, I feel like I did. I definitely did. From before I even really like started putting myself out there, my friends would come and get like service by me. They would let me wax them. They would let me give them facials. I literally used to take all of my products and all my tools and things to my friend's house and just give them facials all the time. So there was definitely a lot of support from the beginning. Um, and I feel like as I started to get more and more out there, like it was just very much like, how can I tell other people about you? Like we want to see you win. And I felt very appreciated by
Mhm.
everybody. And I know that everybody around me has great hopes for me. And it feels good like to feel that.
Yeah, and I'm sure I did feel good in terms of just having that support. But now that you've received that support, do you plan on, I guess, providing that same support for someone that might either be, looking to tap into this business or industry as well?
Absolutely. Like I feel like at the end of the day, it's not a competition, you
Mm,
know, like this is a big industry. There are so many people in this world, and there's enough people to service for everybody. Like, so whatever it is, like if you're doing whatever services you might be offering, absolutely, I will promote you. I will put your name out there. I will tell people like, hey, I can't do it, but or maybe I could do it, but you could also check them out too. Like
yeah,
they doing their thing over there. In fact, like a lot of my friends from beauty school, we all do the same thing. My friends do facials, my other friend, she waxes, and I always recommend people to them because I really want to put people out there. I want people to win just as much as I'm winning.
facts. Everybody can eat. I
Yes.
think there's a misconception that
Everybody.
like, yeah, everybody can eat. It's not like, all right, it's just reserved for one person. Like you can work as a team, you know what I'm saying? You're good at what you do, you're good at what you do, so on and so forth. But a question that just, popped up in my mind, right? Like, when you're providing, all the services that you provide, how did you come up with an actual number to charge for your clients? Because I think sometimes that's, can be a tough, thing for people to decide. It's like, am I charging too much? Am I charging too little? So how did you come up with actual numbers?
Um, well, when I first started, I was dirt cheap. Like people used to, my clients used to tell me like, why are your prices so low? You need to charge more. You need to charge more. And I would be like, I don't want to charge more. Like I want to like keep myself affordable for
Mm,
people. Um, but I also felt like for what I was doing, I wasn't really paying myself enough. I was really just paying myself for like the products that are being used. So like that's really what I calculated, right? It's like
mm,
what products are being used for each service and how much is it costing per for each client.
mm.
And then I was also like, okay, am I just breaking even with this number, or am I like able to get a profit out of this? So I definitely took some of my clients' advice and I did up my prices a little bit. I didn't OD though, because I still wanted to be like, yes, I'm doing a great job. I don't want anybody to think like, oh, I'm not doing a great job because I'm charging my so low of a
Mm.
price. But I still wanted to be able to make a little bit of money off of
Facts.
this as well.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I personally think that's the beauty of ownership is that it belongs to you. So you can still, provide a quality price, but at the same time provide a quality product and service, so that definitely means a lot ultimately in the grand scheme of things. So you've been in business, I would say, quite some time now. What's one thing that you wish you knew about business before getting started?
All right, this is going to sound bad. I, I wish that I did not rush to get a LLC.
Oh, that's not, oh, trust me, that's not, hell, that's normal. But okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah.
That's really like that's the number one thing that I'm thinking about right now, that I kind of wish that I didn't rush to get it. I was more so like, oh my God, I want to be official. I want to be official. You know, Twitter always chatting it up about LLCs and stuff. So I was like, let me just do it. But I really felt like there's no difference in between like what I was doing before and what I'm doing now with that LLC. And in fact, it's just like more money.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, early in the episode, you mentioned the word taxes. So, I mean, that could be the biggest difference out there.
Yes, that is the biggest difference.
Hey, I mean, if it's help, save some money, then that's a difference, sacrifices got to be made. But so,
Right.
why not the rush for an LLC? Is it just because like you wanted to wait until you fully understood like this is what you wanted to do, or just what?
Um, it wasn't that. It's just more so like I said, like I already there's no difference in besides like the taxes. Like there's no difference in between what I was doing before I had an LLC and what I'm doing right now. Like I'm still able to spread my business the way I was before. I'm still licensed no matter what, whether I had an LLC or whether I'm not. So there really isn't a change besides having to pay like this extra money. And like I live in New York City, so it's like a city tax, I pay a state tax. So it's like an additional burden that I've actually kind of felt like I put on myself rather than like helping myself. And I also feel like I could have waited until I got my business was a bit bigger to actually take that plunge. Right now I'm still fairly small, but yeah, I definitely could have waited a little bit, like a couple more months or so,
So
like
was it that you listened to LLC Twitter, or was it just really like a you decision? You're like, oh, I gotta get this LLC to be legit.
It was definitely like a me decision. Like that was actually the first thing before I even graduated beauty school. I was like, I need to get my LLC. I need to get my LLC. And I was on LegalZoom. I was looking it up and researching everything or whatever. But I just didn't do it because I was also like taking care of other stuff for my business at the time. And so once I actually had a moment, I was like, oh, let me just go ahead and do it now. Why not? And I just could have waited.
I mean, the bright side is though is that it kind of protects you, right? I mean, you mentioned before the idea of like, if you're just randomly doing it somewhere, and someone can bring you to the court or bring you to court if you mess up, that's something think about, consider, right?
That is true.
Yeah. But so in terms of, I guess, like, because my biggest thing that I want to touch on too, I know I mentioned already, but the idea of like consultations and just things like that, just because, we're still in a pandemic. So if someone wanted to, I guess, get their skin right, again, men or women, right? We'll make that very clear for everybody, men and women. Is there a website that someone can go to reach out to you and kind of schedule that?
Yes, they can. And the website is zingsbeautybar.as.me. It's much easier if you just go on my Instagram, but I know not everybody has Instagram. I just took a social media cleanse myself the other day. So
How was that?
it was very peaceful. Like I highly recommend.
Mm.
But yeah, it's zingsbeautybar.as.me. And literally, I have all the information you may need. I describe all my services there. I also give details about what the consultation will potentially look like. And yeah, and like I said, the moment that my clients book, not they get an email from me, but they also get a text message from me as well. So everybody hears from me.
There you go. There you go. None like a little customer appreciation. None like a little customer appreciation. And so one of the final questions, the final question that I always ask people that come on the show is, how do you want to be remembered?
Um, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
To be honest, I want to be remembered as just a amazing Black woman who came, who saw, who conquered. I know that sounds a little cliche, but like literally, I don't even really want to be attached to my titles of like being a teacher or being an esthetician. I just want to positively impact other people's lives, no matter what that is or how that could look like. If I made you laugh, if I turned your day upside down, if I helped you in any sort of way, whatever that could be, that's how I would want to be remembered. That positive person who impacted you.
Yeah.
In a Black.
And positivity, definitely, spreads. I think people feed off energy. Like being negative is kind of dull and unnecessary. But you are kind of the person that can spread all that, and just being a positive person, day in and day out. But I just want to say congratulations, to everything that you're doing on both sides too. I can only imagine, obviously with trying to balance both and be successful at both, especially because like people are relying on you, right? Like it's not like, okay, you got a job where you're just chilling. Like hey, again, I've never done I've never done that, but I feel like, if you mess up in a certain area, bad things can actually happen. So you have to be, pretty locked in and everything like that. So I just want to, congratulate you on that and just everything that you're doing, because to be full time in both, speaks volumes.
Thank you. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
for
I
sure,
really do.
for sure. So, and I would say too, just drop, your social media in terms of, so people can follow you, and if they have, any more questions and, want to hit you up for consultation, just pull up, and everything like that.
Yes. Zing's Beauty Bar on Instagram, Zing's Beauty Bar on Twitter, Zing's Beauty Bar on Facebook, whatever it is, I'm on all of it. Hit
Facts.
me up, reach out to me. I'll answer your questions in a timely manner. Give me some time, y'all. I work 2 jobs.
Facts. Give her some time now. Yeah. But yeah, definitely gotta reach out at some point about the consultation and stuff. I think that part is, is definitely dope. Considering everything that's happened. And again, to reiterate for everyone, men and women,
Yes.
men and
Everybody.
women. Men,
Everybody.
get your, get everything together, men. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else or any last words you want to say for episode 7, lucky number 7?
The only thing I have to say is just go ahead and invest in yourself. Take that plunge, take that leap. Anybody who's interested in doing aesthetic services, whether it's facials, waxing, I'm always going to push you to go to school. But if you need a mentor or you need some advice, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here. Shout outs to you, Theus. I think this podcast is really dope, and I'm very much honored that you even thought of me to be here, and I appreciate you. I love to see it. Look at UConn, be doing it for UConn.
I already know, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, with that, y'all, that wraps up this episode of Define Legacy. Appreciate you again, Nzinga, for pulling up and just talk about everything that you're doing. So yeah, we're gonna see you in the next episode. Peace.